Confident, vibrant, and quirky with an edge, this is 10 Minutes with Tiffany Jaye. 10 Minutes with Tiffany Jaye features the inside scoop as she juggles the world around her, a 9 to 5, along with a handful of gifts and talents that will blow your mind. All things Tiffany Jaye on her website at MissTiffanyJaye.com. Now, let's get into the show. This is a Miss Tiffany Jaye bonus episode.
Okay, so what's up, everybody? This is Tiffany Jaye with DJ Cyclops with 3 DJs. Man, we've been rocking together for what, about 2 years, something like that?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Okay, so sometime I think it was last week, you hit me up and you was talking about, have you seen Pinnocchio, the new live action?
September 6th. It was September 6th. Boom. I remember the day. September 6th. Mm-hmm.
That was a day.
Mm-hmm.
That was a day for me. But we did the group watch on Disney Plus,
Mm-hmm.
and talked about it briefly because I text you like, yo, this is good, but we never had really sat and just went through why it was good. So this is what this conversation is going to be about today. Okay.
Yep.
So the movie meant so much to me. Let's just break down a few things we're going to go through. Well, number one, first, the cast. I didn't even know Tom Hanks was in it. So him alone, the cast was perfect, perfection. From him to the Blue Fairy to whoever voice acted behind
Benjamin Evans.
Yes, the kid.
Alexander.
Yes. Everybody was phenomenal and everybody did what they were supposed to do. And I felt like with this movie, it wasn't just a story, but they broke down each character and you could really feel each character. So, to me, this was a spiritual journey and it really spoke to my soul. And I hope maybe we're on the same page with it. So, we're going through, we first start Geppetto. No, this is what I learned. Okay, you got 3 things in life that you need.
Mm-hmm.
You need a place to stay, somewhere to lay your head. You need a hobby, something to do, something that makes you happy, something that fulfills you, something that makes you whole. And you need your loved ones around. And Geppetto had that. He had his wood shop or workshop or whatever it was. It was like this big open studio. He had his little bed area, probably could cook. And then his clocks and stuff everywhere. He had that. I was like, okay, cool. Then, you got your clocks and things that you're making. And I was like, okay, Tiffany, you have somewhere to stay. What is it that you're doing that makes you feel happy in life? Think about those things. And he had his loved ones. He had the cat and he had the fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know he had a wife and a son. He spoke of the wife because he mentioned that the clocks were for her. And then he mentioned the son, obviously, because of the picture that we saw, whose soul was inserted into Pinocchio, the wooden boy. So he prays a prayer or dreams a dream. And to me, that's praying a prayer to, praying and just hoping and wishing, upon a star. And so the fairy, the blue fairy comes again, I don't remember her name, phenomenal voice, phenomenal just because she's a Black woman or just say woman of color. And I just thought this was just a great representation, as far as the diversity, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I loved it on that aspect. She not awakens Pinocchio. She basically brings Pinocchio to some kind of what you want to call it, so he can make sense of himself. Because at first he was just a little off.
Yeah, he was repeating everything she was saying.
Yeah. He's good. Let me see. The thing about Jiminy Cricket, sometimes, because what I loved is sometimes we go through life and we think we're good, or we think we're not up to the challenge or the responsibility, but sometimes you need a little bit of an investment of somebody to invest in you. Because she was like, do you know right from wrong? He was like, yeah, so you're good enough to be the conscience. He was like, no, because I got stuff to do. And she was like, but you ain't doing it. And he was like, I mean, right, you ain't doing it. So when she dubbed him the official conscience of Pinocchio, gave him some new clothes and stuff like that, new umbrella, whatever, he was feeling himself, and that was good. And I look at it as like some people in your life, they're there to restore your pride as far as with your responsibility. So that was cool for him. And then overall, this was a beautiful love story. So when you got Pinocchio comes to life, Geppetto realizes, oh my gosh, real boy, we can be a family now. Da, da, da. When he was saying, okay, I think it's time for you to go to school, and like Pinocchio's ready to go off to school, and Tom Hanks, Geppetto, is looking at him like holding his hand, is like, I don't want you to go, or I just really felt the love of a parent right there.
Yeah.
Like a parent, or like God the Father saying, like, okay, you're about to go out into the world, and I don't want you to go. Pinocchio is clueless, like he's excited, like and you could see it in his face with the animation and the emotion, like he's not really understanding, like, okay, and then he goes off, and then this is what it is, like parents have to trust. We go send our kids off out, and hopefully whatever happens happens. And he gave him instructions, make sure you back by this time, right? So then Pinocchio's going, and you see the fox, which is voiced by Michael Keegan Michael Key. And what fascinated me was when he was trying to tell him to be a part of the puppet show, he's like, do you want to be real or do you want to be famous? And I was like, what? Or they're like one is better than the other,
Exactly.
or what is it? And so Pinocchio's kind of confused, and it struck me because a lot of people I'm not saying the outside, but people will try to manipulate and make you think that being real isn't good enough. Being real, being authentic, or being yourself isn't good enough to get you to where you want to go. And it's just as good. And not to say that the famous part, isn't good as well, but he tried to trick his mind to make it seem like the road or the route that Pinocchio was already on wasn't the best route. And I just feel like sometimes people they have their own agenda in mind, right? His name was supposed to be Honest John. And so that happened. Then Jiminy Cricket catches up with him, and he's like, no, this ain't, they knocked him out or whatever. And he was like, anybody who calls himself honest ain't honest. If you gotta brag, if you gotta gaslight, if you gotta say I'm this, and this, without letting your actions speak for you, then
Not that person.
then you're not.
Yeah.
Right? So that was a slight bit of a doozy. And then he goes to school like he's supposed to, but the teacher kicks him out because he's not a real kid. And I was like, wow, what is he gonna do? And then just as soon as Jiminy Cricket's about to be like, oh, I'm gonna come say today, the people that be still looking to sabotage you, they keep coming back. And I'm like, yo, these dudes, they won't leave him alone. So they come, and he was like, well, I'm supposed to go to school. That's what my father said. And he said, and did you go to school? He was like, yes. And what did the learned teacher say? He said, I belong to the puppet show. Okay. So you give it a good old college try. And I was just like, no, this is not it. And so he got him to shake his hand. And something that I didn't mention to you was a lot of times people will, how do I say this? You have to count the cost of the contract that you are making with somebody. You get what I'm saying? Anytime that you agree with someone, you are signing a verbal or some sort of
Yeah.
exactly. So you have to be aware of what comes with it. Pinocchio didn't know he was about to be sold to Stromboli. Pinocchio didn't know he was about to be locked up in it. He didn't know none of that stuff that was about to happen. But just because of one interaction that you have, you sign up for a lifetime, whatever. Right? That's what I said. Okay. So
wait, like you said, with the spiritual journey, I don't think I mentioned this to you, but with the fox coming in at Pinocchio's lowest point, was like, okay, I'm gonna get to him while he's low, and I'm gonna tell him what he wants to hear, not what he needs, but what he wants to hear. And he's like, well, you went to school, like you said, and he's telling you to go in a puppet show. So that's where we're gonna go. So that's where some, like you said, the spiritual journey picks up early during a movie, but it really picks up at that point.
It starts. It really does start.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I saw it. I saw it at the point too. I guess when Geppetto was trying to let him go off. Well, no, you're right. You're right. I feel like it really picks up because that's where like your warfare starts, right? You start
Mm-hmm.
to distinguish like what is the right path to actually take, and if that door of school closed, quote unquote closed, does that necessarily mean the very next door that comes your way is the door that you're supposed to walk through? Yes or no? Sometimes I feel like in life, especially with myself, when doors close, I feel like I need to sit and kind of wait for my instructions versus, oh, this door opens. That means I'm supposed to walk through here. No, take a step back, sit, reevaluate what's going on. If that door opens, maybe it's just open and it's another trap. It's another doorway to who knows what. And then maybe it's going to close. And maybe another door is going to open. Like you really got to assess like what's going on around you. So that's kind of Pinocchio didn't necessarily have that opportunity, or let's say because he was naive, so he didn't really have the
Mm-hmm.
know-how. You know what I'm saying? But that's as you grow in life and you go through these different lessons and cycles, you may take that very next route. But the second time around, you may be like, you know what? I'm gonna sit and wait on the right thing to come along. So that's something that definitely spoke to me. Don't walk, don't go through every opportunity that comes in your face.
All things ain't good.
So he goes on the show. Uh, he's performing in front of these people, and the people, if you look in the audience, they look like I don't want to say peasants, but they just look like everyday people. And it's not like he was performing for kings and queens or people that can make
Yeah.
something of himself. So, like as an artist, sometimes you have to be mindful of the gigs that you take. You know what I'm saying? Think about, is this going to really be an investment into my career? Is this taking me somewhere? Am I getting something from this? Or am I really pouring into these people? Not to say that every performance isn't great, but you really have to kind of like decide what should I really be putting, where should I really be putting my eggs? In this basket, that basket, or where should I be putting my foot or laying them down? Right? Right. So we fast forward to him being he was talking to the girl, right? The girl that was dancing with the ballerina puppet. And then Stromboli finds him. He was like, oh, don't give away no free show. We got to leave an hour. Then boom, he locked Pinocchio in the cage. And then Pinocchio's like, dang, this is the second time I done got like rejected. You know what I mean? Like I thought this was good for me, but that was not. Like, why would somebody who's trying to make me famous, or why would somebody who's trying to like so-called quote unquote give me the best days of my life put me in a cage and put me away? Right? When you were talking about Lowe's, I remember thinking about Joseph and how his brothers, they put him down into the into this ditch or whatever. He got sold into
Mm-hmm.
slavery, went to Potiphar's house, and then Potiphar's wife, she, snitched on him. Well, not snitched on him, but she lied on him, really, talking
Yeah.
about, oh, he trying to rape me, then he went to jail, but all throughout this time, like, God was still with him. So we don't know what's gonna happen, but Pinocchio's in the cage. And then the girl come back and she's like, Pinocchio, you know, like it's okay because we gonna have our own puppet show, da 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 da. And he listened to her like, yeah, it sounds good, but he was like, you were human. And I can't trust no other human like nobody else but my father. And
And
I was like,
that was the best quote of the movie. The best quote. In
you're
my
you're that's what you're a real person. That's what it was. You're a real person.
Yeah.
And I can't trust
No
nobody but my
human
father.
except my father.
And I was like, that hit home. And that really made me think. Because then that's when she got the puppet out to make
Yeah.
him like, okay, well, you can look at me or whatever. But to me, that made me think, okay, God is the only person that I can really like look to lean to. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
And
Because you know
go
you
ahead,
have
go ahead.
you have so many people out here that come in your life that you encounter every day. But you can't trust them always because you might build that trust up, but it's so easy to break down. And at the end of the day, God is the only one you can trust. So you have to, when it comes to trusting humans, you have to be careful. I'm not gonna say you can't trust everybody, but you might trust people, but you still gotta have that itch, like
Let
okay,
me see. And
yeah,
that's how I looked at it. Like when I think about, okay, I can only trust my father, I'm thinking about like, okay, what does the father embody? Like the fruits of the spirit. If you don't embody these
mhm,
things, then I can't get with you. And he really didn't like he didn't think about old girl until she brought something that was similar to him that he could relate to,
mhm,
which was the other
mhm,
puppet. So that really kind of hit home. It made me feel like I really need to start vetting the people that are in my lives. And it just gave me a true embodiment of what it means to test the spirit by the spirit. A lot of people may say things that sound nice. The fox said stuff that sounded nice. Um, the girl said stuff that sounded nice, and she even had good intention, right?
mhm,
But that would have been the third time that he would have trusted somebody, and it may or may not have gone into his favor. So he was like, at this point, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So Jiminy Cricket comes out. He lies a few times or whatever, so they can get the key. Then he comes back, or he tells the truth, and then and one of the lies was he was like, I didn't want to be famous. I didn't want to be famous and go come back.
and
Right?
that's when the nose really grew.
Yeah. But then he realized that he could use to his advantage, and then he had to start
Exactly.
telling the truth, right?
Well,
Right. So
okay, let me ask you this. You just said
mhm.
use it to your advantage. So, you know, people always, be like, oh, I'm just gonna tell a little white lie. But that they take advantage of that white lie to where they start to believe the lie.
That might be the hype. And now
Hmm.
look where you at.
Exactly. So now it's just like, okay, look at what this little white lie did. Now you too far deep in it to where you can't even come back from it.
You right.
And
You are so right.
I felt like that was his nose. Like he's still lying. I'm going to use this to my advantage, but how can I get back to it? To
And I,
the
and I think I'm glad that he was. It seemed like he was smart enough to kind of figure that out. You
yeah.
know, because I was curious. Because I had kind of forgot. I was like, well, so what does he do? He starts telling the truth. Okay, cool. So he's telling the truth, and then it works out. So that's awesome. I think then Geppetto's looking at his clock or whatever, or his all of his clock or his watch,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out, it's five something. He ain't back yet, and it just makes me think about how like your parents or the father, he does care about us. He will send you out for you to do your own will or whatever it is, and hoping that you'll stick to whatever he taught you or your parents taught you. But it showed me that he cares and he will go out like looking for you, or at least putting agents into the world to make sure that you are comforted and make sure that that that
Mm-hmm.
you know that he's around, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he's going to go look for him. Pinocchio and who's it, Jimmy the Cricket? They eventually go to the house and they realize, okay, he's not there. Then he gets caught up with Pleasure Island and the coachman. Now I'm thinking I would have thought with this being the third kind of, you know, issue temptation that he wouldn't have went with it. But the coachman did have a really good what's it called?
Mouthpiece.
He did. He did.
Yeah, he had a good mouthpiece, and he's good at persuading people to do what's not well, do what's wrong, and
Exactly.
that's where the spiritual comes in. Like the enemy will have a great mouthpiece,
That
great
manipulation.
mouthpiece. Mm-hmm. But in your heart it's wrong,
Oh,
but because it sounds so good at the moment, I'm like, I want it, so I'm
so
gonna
let's
go with
see.
it.
But
Yeah.
he had no, I guess because his father, what did he? I can't remember where at this point if he went back to the house or not. No, he probably didn't. No, he did. He went to the house
Mm-hmm.
and then
That's where he got
they just
snapped.
got caught up. Yeah, they just got caught up.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes life will do that to you when you trying to get back. you trying to do the right thing, and it's just like, dang, like they just don't let me win. Like, what's really going on? You know? So
Mm-hmm.
they went to Pleasure Island. You find out like all the kids is just acting rambunctious, drinking root beer, all of that. Then they go through this tunnel and they're like destroying the clocks, right? And he was like, they look like my father's clocks. And what you realize is, or what I realized is, Geppetto sold those clocks to get a boat to go to Pleasure Island to get Pinocchio. And
Mm-hmm.
those clocks were like his most prized possession, like outside of Pinocchio. And to me, that reminds me of like God's relationship with us and sacrificing his son so that he can get back to us or bring us back to him. You know what I mean? I just thought that was the most beautiful depiction of it. And also how I think we talked about he sold his clock, they're precious items, but how those kids just tore those clocks up,
Mm-hmm.
like Jesus being crucified or whatever.
Mm-hmm. For
Don't
our
nobody care. Yeah, don't nobody like you may sell your things hoping that they're gonna be in the right hands or that somebody's gonna take care of them
yeah.
because you trying to do something else good. But they're not obligated to do that at all.
And then, and Pinocchio was like, nah,
Some don't
I
feel
don't,
right.
yeah, I don't want to do this. Like, this is not me, you know. Um, I guess because he felt that, connections like these are my father's clocks.
They are. Or they
Yes.
were.
Yeah. So like I'm not gonna destroy them. And I can't remember who exactly did it in the Bible where like, as people were, whipping and throwing stones at Jesus, it was that was handful of people was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it.
This is wrong.
Yeah.
I think, but I know because I remember from that movie Passion of the Christ, the guy that's the his name starts with a P, Pilot or something like that, because he was trying to not do it. You know what I mean? Like, but he was
Mm-hmm.
like, give the people what they want, and that's just like, all right, So, but that's what I saw the clock. I saw the clock as like the sacrifice that Geppetto had to make. And it seemed like you would have thought he sold his soul. I mean, well, that's pretty much all his work.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he wasn't selling it because he didn't sell it to that man at the beginning, that was still his life's work, and they meant everything to his wife, who wasn't no longer there, and probably the son. So that happens. Tell me about the root beer.
So my thing about Garuba was like it's so it's so weird that they chose root beer because
Right?
like why root beer? Like, but you got to think about it. The beer aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, in the Bible it says, "Be not conformed to this world." Uh,
Be transformed
yeah,
by the
yeah,
renewing of your mind.
exactly. So at the end of the day, you're drinking this root beer. All these kids are drinking this root beer. These kids now are being turned into donkeys, straight up donkeys. Like, so when Pinocchio realizes that, he's like, huh. But you gotta think he's already taken a few sips. So he's already there. Like he's
Like he already started to conform, but he
yeah,
gonna be transforming to something that ain't.
exactly. So he was like, nah, you know what? Here, you take it. Like, and so I can't never remember that boy's name. The one
Look,
uh
dang,
um
what's his name? Look,
uh
it's like Lambie or something like that.
yeah. So he drinks it and he really just turns and he's like,
That's straight up.
help me, help
Mm-hmm.
me, like do something. And at the end of the day, he's fully transformed into a donkey like everybody else.
You drank the sauce, you drank the juice, you took the
You drunk the
you
Kool-Aid.
yeah. You were
Like
fed the line, you ate it up like, yeah, this
exactly.
is it.
So at the end of the day, Pinocchio was like, nah, this is not me. Not gonna do
You
it.
know what else it reminded me of when them things, the little shadow things came out? It reminded me of Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi
Mm-hmm.
Moore at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the movie when they was taking people down and Jiminy Cricket was like, didn't look like I would have fell into 8 feet.
Never
hockey stick. I was like,
yes. So, it was just like some stuff like that, it was just like, okay. It At the end of the day, you don't want to be, conform to this world. And with him saying, nah, this is not what I'm gonna do. Um, Not only with the root beer, but destroying his
the
father's car.
clocks and all
You
the
know,
other stuff that was going
yeah,
on in
yeah.
Pleasantville. Yeah.
So it was just like, that took a big step in him to say, okay, nah, this is
To
not what.
say no.
Yeah, they always say you just say no for drugs, but it's beyond drugs now. You gotta,
It's a lot.
yeah. So
And his was only he only did a sip of root beer. He didn't even do what a lot of those other kids did.
exactly, and the thing
But it
about
only takes that one thing.
the thing about it, I think he had the same cup of root beer the whole time, and he took like
Mm-hmm.
two sips. But
Yeah,
just those two
had it.
sips,
Yeah.
it started to transform him. But that's when he realized, nah,
This ain't me.
yeah.
So with that, I think about like the donkey aspect or him having his donkey ears and his tail. Like I thought about that, like with everything I'm going through, that that was like a representation of like sin or something like that. And how I'm gonna fast forward, but I'm gonna bring it back because you were talking about selfishness and rebellion, so we gotta touch on that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So when they escape, him and Jimmy Cricket escape, and then they get to the sea. They meet up with Sophia, the seagull. But that girl from the puppet show, they told him Stromboli was put in jail, and then she's like, "Oh, we have our own puppet show now, and you can join us." Isn't that what you want to do? And he was like, I really want to, but I think I need to like find my father. And that's when those fears and stuff like disappeared. So it's like a two for one. Um, I think because when you talked about, tell me about the pastor that you said. I hope I don't forget everything I'm talking about because I want to talk about
So,
restoration and what you said the
so,
pastor said.
a couple weeks ago, my pastor at church spoke on rebellion,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the signs of rebellion was selfishness and stubbornness.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So in this movie, Pinocchio had the selfishness moments. He was had moments where he was being stubborn, to where that rebellion came in. Um,
Yeah.
you know, Everybody knows the story of Pinocchio. So,
Of course. Of course.
uh, fast forward to where he gets swallowed. It's just like Jonah. Jonah was swallowed because he was being what?
He was
Rebellious.
rebellious. Yeah. But
So,
that was we so because I'm trying to stay on like the timeline that we was having. Um, I think he was definitely selfish in when he said he wanted to be famous for sure,
mm-hmm,
right? But it just kind of tricked him up because he was like, I didn't, realize it was going to take me there. I think he got tricked into going to Pleasure Island, but then he's trying to figure out, okay, it's something else I'm trying to do, something else I got to do. And I felt like when he made the right decision to look for his father, I felt like that was a restoration moment. Like as long as you're seeking to do the right thing or seeking to go after God or you
mm,
know,
mm-hmm,
trying to be better, he will restore you. He will make you whole. He will, like, it's going to be okay. You're not going to constantly stay in that simple state, if that makes sense. So that's what I took from it, and that's how it spoke to me. And I just thought it was a beautiful moment when he chose his father over the fame, or even it maybe not even fame, but even just something that he really enjoyed. At the moment for what it was someone that he could possibly trust. Because then just imagine if he went down that road, that would have been a whole different movie.
mm-hmm.
At this
Man, you
point,
know what? I want to see a movie based off of him going down that road.
on the puppet show road,
Yeah,
right?
like, I want to know what would really happen.
A sequel,
Like,
right? So then, so he finds they reconnect on the sea. But what I love about the reconnection, and Tom Hanks is just such a great actor and just invoking like this emotion and making you feel like you're really loved by him and missed and all that stuff. So Pinocchio was like, fine, fine, you know, and telling him about his entire day. And I looked at it as like what they say like pray without ceasing. And sometimes you just have to tell God, like, okay, not just the good, but hey God, this is also what happened to me. And I da, 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 da. Because he told him everything, you know, met Fox with school, they kicked me out of school, they kicked you out of school, then I was in a puppet show, what you was in a puppet show? And it was just like they both were excited to find each other and to find out about each other. I thought that was just the
Mm-hmm.
most beautiful thing. And he received him still with open arms, even having to have gone through all of this. And he was like, "You did this all in one day." And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So then they get swallowed up by this monstrous whale, and I think it's like one of the last tests of Pinocchio because Geppetto didn't do anything, right?
Not at all. He was just like, hey, we go if we go
They was
die,
about to post up.
we gonna die in style. Like we got to post up socks, give me a little lantern and just
Right.
just chill. Yeah. But
But
nah.
it's like, what? But I think what you were telling me earlier was like sometimes God like has taught you, not saying all that you know, but He's taught you enough to see like, okay, what are you going to do in this situation now that we're
Exactly.
in a pickle? But this is something we didn't discuss. So kind of like with Jesus in the boat with the disciples and
Mm-hmm.
the storm going on,
Mm-hmm.
and he chilling, and everybody else is freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the same parallel that I see with this,
Mm. Okay. Okay.
right? So mind you, Geppetto was just chilling. If he's like the God figure or whatever, you know, in the movie, like he was just chilling, it's just kind of like, okay, do you have trust? Do you have faith? What are you gonna do about it? And then eventually, yes, Pinocchio's like, boom, I got an idea. And then he came up with the whole smoke thing with the whale oil, whatever, whatever, and they
Mm.
got out. So that's how I look at it, like having the faith that you need to do what you need to do to get out. And then, now, mind you, Pinocchio's kicking, then back to the shore. Now, mind you, if he was a real boy, he would have been able to, you know, get
Mm.
his feet that back. And so when you think about it, like you are beautifully and wonderfully made. God made you exactly the way that you need to be for whatever purpose it is that you have in life. You have no idea 5 years, 10 years, tomorrow, down the road, what you may need, those unique, specific gifts that He gave you, right? If He made you, I'm not saying this is real, but if He made you a wooden boy, that was necessary for
Yeah.
this, you know what I'm saying, to get them to shore, to outrun or outswim a whale. If He
Mm-hmm.
made you, I don't know, short, tall, a little big boned, a little skinny, if your nose comes out, protrudes a little bit, or it's a little bit wide, or if your eyes are closed, or whatever the case is, or long hair, curly hair, you know, thin hair, no hair, whatever it is that you are,
You're
it
in
is
his
on
image.
purpose. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a purpose and a reason. So I thought about that. Um, I just thought it was a beautiful movie, and it really spoke to me. The parts about, you know, you want to be real or fake. I can't trust anybody because you're a real person, and the only real person I can trust is my Father. And it just reminds me the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are the embodiment of what the Father is to me, and I have to be able to pinpoint: do people have those qualities? And if they don't, I will always remember this movie now because it's a visual representation of it. If they don't, I can't trust you. And I guess like for me, I have a problem because I always renege on my decisions or the things that I say I'm going to do. And for Pinocchio, it only took him that second time for it to happen because it did not feel good. Like
Mm.
he was thrown in the cage. And sometimes in life, we get thrown into ditches, cages, knocked off course. But I don't know what it is about us. Kids are a little bit better at it, but I don't know what it is about adults where we think, oh, I'm good. And then you fall right back into that same ditch
Mm.
instead of just making that vow with yourself to say, no, you are this, and I can't trust you because you're this, because it's now happened to me the second time. And so now I must move over here. Or the only person I can trust is my father. Like I really want that to sink in, at least for me. And unless you are because those attributes, love is a whole chapter in itself, right?
Fact. Facts.
First Corinthians 13. It's a whole chapter in itself that a lot of us have difficulty mastering everything. So that's the first fruit of the spirit. And if you ain't got that, what? You know what I'm saying? Because God is love. Okay, so love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, and self-control is something that we also have issues with. And you got the works of the flesh. So when people are bitter, they easily angered, fits of rage, and all that stuff, you can pinpoint who's really got it or not, and you can save yourself from a lot of trouble, turmoil, disappointment. And I'm not saying because you're not setting expectations. I'm not saying that. But when you can recognize these character traits in people, you can say, okay, you're this, you're that. You're, for lack of a better term with the movie, you're a puppet or you're a real person. Or you're a Jiminy Cricket or you're my father. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out who is what. And just keeping your distance. Because, and it's not like him and old girl, the ballerina girl, they're not friends. But he has another purpose right now. That's more important. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because that would have been a selfish thing, I guess, a
Mm-hmm.
selfish thing for him to do, which could have, yes, led to more rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, well, technically, based on what you're saying, that is a fruit of rebellion, you know.
Yes.
So that I've never heard it like that before. And I'm not talking about selfishness like self-love and taking care of you. I'm not talking about that.
Uh-uh.
I'm
For
talking
sure.
about, yeah, I'm talking about legit, like, this is what I want. I want what I want it now, or me. Like, you're not even really thinking about anybody else. It's all about what you want. And so that was an eye opener for me when you said it was stuff, and you said stubbornness, I think, selfishness.
Stubbornness. Yes. It was a whole list of stuff that he mentioned,
I
but
need to know the rest of the list,
but
please.
but
Help me.
what I saw in this movie was those
That
two.
was those two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was
Yeah.
uh like I said, it was a whole list. I was like, yo, like it was some stuff that I was like, dang, I feel like I'm being rebellious because of some of the stuff he was saying. I was like, oh, okay.
It
Uh
makes you think.
yeah. And it's he always says before the sermon, he's like, if it hits you, like don't sit there quiet, say amen, say I got that, or say ouch because it really hits you. Like it was one of those ouch moments for me because I was like, yo, even in this movie was an ouch moment. Like, because I want to go back to the very beginning when you said Geppetto was like doing a whole carpeting of Pinocchio and how he wanted to embody his son's soul
Okay. Yeah.
in puppet. Let's think about it.
Is
God,
that selfish?
no, no, no.
What are
Look,
you trying to say? Okay.
God wanted flesh, somebody to embody him in flesh.
Yeah.
It's his son, Jesus. And it was just like it was more, it's so many
Put it.
it's so many different spiritual ways you could look at these movies to where each time you think about the movie, you think more and more and more and more.
Relationship of the father and his
Mm-hmm.
kids, or the father, his
But still,
people that he created that he loved.
it's just like I said, at the end where he's uh not like he's becoming, you see that image of him becoming real.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you have to be you're made in God's image. So what's real to him sometimes
That's what.
sometimes might not always be real to the other people.
Right. That they want to make you.
Yeah. So when you become that person that he wants you to be, that's when you become real.
And I think Jiminy Cricket kind of said it because he was like, nobody really knows. But, you know, he had already embodied the character traits of being a real boy anyway. So it didn't matter if he turned real or not. He already was, like, in his soul.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Geppetto even said it. He was like, I wouldn't wish for anything else but what you actually are, like you right now. So his son, his actual real son, whoever that was, could have been one thing, but this boy had a total different soul. You know what I'm saying? Like his own being, his own self, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love. Like it was a unique connection that he had, and he was like, I don't want you to be anything than what you are, and that was beautiful. I really like that, and I keep that in mind. Like with just me, myself. This one of my good friends. She was like, "You're perfect just the way you are," and you don't realize that until you kind of take a step back and just think like you really are. Stop trying to compare yourself, even if you're comparing yourself to yourself. Compare yourself to what makes you feel good, what makes you strong, where you want to be in life. You know what I mean? And get better with that and whatever you feel God is saying to you. And the people that you know that have his spirit within them, what they say about you. You know? So
Facts. You know,
just
it's and like I told you earlier, it's more this movie hits differently when I watched it when I was like,
because what you said something about when we was kids, we didn't
yeah,
know
when
no better.
we yeah, when we were kids, like we just watched it for the entertainment. It was a cartoon. We are like, yeah, cartoon movie.
Mhm.
But you know, I'll be honest, I was what 3, 4 years old when that movie came out. And so it was just like, okay, cool, yeah. But
Pinocchio was like a puppet. What?
yeah.
Okay.
So now with this movie and the messages they have behind the movie, um, as an adult, you've gone through different experiences to where you understand it a little bit more differently. And that's why like I said, I want to go back and watch all the Pinocchios and see does this,
Does it hit the same?
yeah,
Or do they just not have that same feeling?
yeah,
And I feel like they may not. This was on a whole different level.
mm-hmm.
Like they took time because sometimes I'll be like, I think it's like an hour and 34 minutes or whatever, and I'll be thinking, the story ain't that long, but what can you say? But they
Exactly.
really, because at the beginning when I text you, we was watching it, and I was like, oh, this is Tom Hanks in here, but he's singing, he's kind of speak singing the song about,
Yeah.
you know, a memory, about his son and stuff like that. You feel he is yearning to connect with somebody, like you feel that. So
Mm,
now it's not just, oh, this is a carpenter or a woodworker guy that's making a puppet. No, he's putting his heart and soul into this puppet,
mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore that connection, boom, immediately established. And he wishes upon a star. Of course, that's the whole fairy tale aspect of it. But he don't think nothing of it. He's just wishing upon a star, whatever, whatever. And then the fairy comes and you like, oh, this is real. And
Yep.
just the animation of just how beautiful she was. Just
Yes.
it was beautiful. And in the song, when your dreams come true, like just fading out into the background, into darkness. It was beautiful. It was lovely. And then you even like Jiminy Cricket, you felt like from him, he's somebody that wanders. He just didn't have a purpose.
Yeah, look, at the beginning of
You
the
didn't
movie,
get
like
yeah,
he was just wandering. He's like, look, I gotta get somewhere where it's warm. That's
that's
all
it.
he was like, I'm trying to get warm. Like, I don't care
But
about
even still, you might not have got that from the cartoon that he ain't really had no purpose in life. He was just subconscious.
yeah, but
Conscious.
in the cartoon, he was already dressed and suited and
Yeah.
booted. And he was like, yeah, I'm here. Aha. But the blue fairy is like, you're not doing nothing. Like,
she, these are the facts.
yeah, like you're not
And
doing
this is what you're going to
nothing.
do.
Exactly. Like you're gonna be his conscience. He's like, well, I got too much stuff on my plate. No, no, you
What?
don't. Like, what do you get? No, no, you just and she said it. You're a wanderer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so at the end of the day, I feel like this movie, it's more impactful. I guess you could say so most of Disney movies are have some type of subliminal message
They
in
do,
them,
I think.
but
And
you
I love how they're coming out now because they have more space and more time to develop the
mhm,
characters to
mhm,
tell these more impactful stories deep within.
just like Lion King, like I said earlier to you, I was like, hey, like I feel like Lion King is related to relative at some point too, because you're trying to prove yourself,
Right?
in your
Or he's trying to prove himself to himself though, because
but
everybody else knew he was king.
But no, at the time, you remember when he was little, when he was a cub, he was
Oh
trying to
yeah,
prove himself to who? His father.
true.
He was like, I could do this. Let me do this. Like, you know, and
But
what
after his
happened
father
then?
died, he lost all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that was the end. And sometimes in life, people lose their moral figures, and they that's it. They don't know what else to do after that. And it takes a few of us, like the knowledge in the world. You might have a few Timon and Pumbas, but they don't even know where how you like what you was born into. If he
Facts.
would have stayed on that level, and you know what I'm saying? Like you a lion, not even realizing you a lion.
Yeah. Like, and then, when they find out, oh, he's a king, like, it was just like, oh, okay. But, um, this movie, I feel like, let's see, it's been out for a couple weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And
don't
I
know how
haven't
many,
seen
I
it.
don't know how many times I watched it. Like, we I could sit there and watch a movie over and over and over
you
again.
know, you
It's
know.
Yeah, it's good. But the thing about it is, I'll go into it acting like I didn't know what
Yes,
to
me too.
where I find something new each time. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch Pinocchio. And, oh, okay, it gets come out cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like, um, I was anticipating this movie because, like I said, it's a live action movie, so I wanted to see what they're gonna do, how they gonna do this. What is Pinocchio really gonna look like? Like,
Is it gonna look corny or is it gonna be like,
yeah,
this is
because
that?
it's been other Pinocchios out. I'm just like, well, you can still kind of tell he's real, like, you know. So like this one, it made that it,
It
yeah,
pricked your heart, it pricked your soul.
yeah. So
It's mine.
it was just like, yeah, like I could watch this a million more times and still feel differently each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
watch it to remind myself it's gonna be okay.
mhm, it is. It is. And you gotta remember, don't, like we said earlier, don't let people dictate who you are. Like, you even, I think I was mentioning this to you when I said your parents, they want you,
Oh, what they want?
yeah, what they want for you is what they want for you. Like, that's cool. But even though they have your father's spirit in them, right? But at the end of the day, you gotta know what God really wants for you.
And you stick with that.
Yes, once you find that out, it's like, okay, I'm good. I reached my realness. This is what I do.
Right. Are you real? You wanna be you wanna be real, you wanna be famous. And
Exactly.
I was like, whoa, because it's so kind of like the word I want to use relevant to me, myself today. I'm Tiffany, but I'm also Tiffany Jaye. Trying to be
Mm,
entrepreneur, artist, singer extraordinaire, etc. Like, you want to be real or you want to be famous?
mm-hmm.
That's a real question.
That's a shirt right there.
What?
I'm gonna make that into a shirt. Like,
You want to be real or you want to be famous?
yep.
And but you got to think about it. And what do you have to sacrifice to be famous? Or what do you need to do to maintain your authenticity? Hmm?
Mm-hmm. 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 And the thing about it is, people get lost when they trying to be famous, to where they forget who they really are and who they really supposed to be. So, because that's where, like we were saying, how they were trying to change Pinocchio's name,
Oh
like,
yeah, he was like Chris Pine.
yeah,
No, we
like,
can't do that.
yeah, like,
That was funny.
people are gonna give you names, like to where it's like they're giving me this name, so I have to become this person now.
Right, because that's a whole different persona.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, with Rooks, Kunta Kinte was like, "Hey, you would not call me Toby, Kunta
Right.
Kinte, because I'm free.
That's my free name.
Yes, I'm not about to be a slave to a puppet show, and you're gonna call me a name that's given to me by my master." So,
And then you know what? The Foxes, the people that put him into the puppet show, they weren't there. We didn't see him no more.
nope. Look, after they strolled off from the schoolhouse, they go straight to the puppet show. You never see them again.
It was a wrap. And so sometimes people just be picking you up just to get their change, their paycheck, their due, their cut, and they did. They don't really care about you.
They build you up
For
in,
themselves.
for themselves. They disappear, but you still have a breakdown from that person bringing you into a good situation, but not knowing it wasn't for your good.
Going into an open door that
Mm-hmm.
kind of sit and wait that school thing really did. Because sometimes a lot of people they try to make the right decision. Should I go to school? Should I take this job? You know, or dang, my car's acting up right now. Kids acting up. We don't have food here. What do I do? Somebody comes along offering an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot take every opportunity. You need to sit and assess what is the cost? What contract am I signing by taking on this opportunity? It's very real out here. And a lot of people don't realize that you're like signing contracts every single day. When you have an interaction with somebody, talk to someone, you hug someone, you shake their hand, you are agreeing about something. Even if you engage in a conversation that's unruly, ungodly, having drinks over, pool or whatever y'all talking about, you're agreeing. If the conversation is not good, you are in agreement with it or compliance with it because you're not standing against
it. And the thing is, like, for a lot of people, in ways, it comes in the form of money.
Yeah.
I'm broke. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Somebody offers you something that is like a quick lick.
Quick fix.
Yes, and it's like, oh, I got this money, but like they said, all money ain't good money. All things are not good. So it's just
It's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's something to keep in mind, and it's for us, it has to be you have to have that. I think that's what Pinocchio showed. He showed the strength to, to believe what was right at the end of the day.
But what you just said is powerful because doing what's right isn't always popular.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the strength was part. It was bravery, unselfish, and truthful were the three things that the fairy said that he needed to be a real boy. But having the strength to do the right thing, that's not always easy.
And it a lot of people fail because it's like it's not it's not cool to be right anymore
or good.
Yeah, good. By you doing wrong, you in with the in crowd.
That's that conformity again.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking, you drinking the root beer.
So I'm gonna drink this because everybody else is doing it. But you gotta be strong enough to say, nah, I'm good.
That's tough.
It is tough because at the end of the day, we're human. We are human, but it's more so, God gives us free will, right?
Yes.
So it's up to us to make that decision. Okay.
I'm gonna do what I, follow what I feel like, what he's trying to get me to do, or I'm just gonna be out here.
Yeah, like I'm gonna do what's good for me right now, not what's good for me in the future. I'm gonna take this check knowing,
Right now.
yeah, I'm gonna take this check now, knowing it ain't right, but I need the money. Or I'm gonna walk through this door to this opportunity, knowing what comes with this opportunity, but
It ain't for your best interest.
yeah, yeah. And I feel like people don't do the right thing because they feel like they have to work a little harder. They want the easy way out. They're like, doing the right thing takes a lot of work. It doesn't always take a lot of work. It just depends on how much work you put in. So yeah.
Well, this is good. Like, probably gonna watch it again for the next 48 hours. And
I highly suggest everybody should watch Pinocchio. I feel like that. Everybody should watch Pinocchio. And I'm not talking about old Pinocchios. I'm talking about this Pinocchio that's on Disney
the
Plus.
most recent one, 2022.
Yes.
It's beautiful. And a lot of jewels.
Yes.
For kids and adults. And if you are a child watching it, by the time if you pray that we keep on living, by the time that you become an adult, whatever it is you believe, I hope that those principles stick with you and they stay with you. Trusting the people that are near and dear to your heart, sticking to
Mm-hmm.
those family values, and knowing that even if you do mess up and you get your donkey ears and your donkey tail in life, it is okay. You can be restored if you are trying to do the right thing, make those right decisions, and you can always come back. Sometimes life happens and it is a detour to even the better thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to, you got to believe in yourself and know that there's always, there, as long as you're still breathing, you have purpose here.
Mm. Yeah.
You have purpose. If you wake up, that means God meant for you to be
Like,
today in
like
this time.
your purpose is not over.
It's not because I'm telling you, there's people that are not here and what nothing wrong. They just did not wake. And it blows my mind every
Mm.
day. And now I'm sitting here like I'm complaining because I got my donkey ears. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
no, that means I'm God is still teaching me something. He's waiting for me so that I can make the right decision to be restored, come back to him, and then show my faith, my works, and everything. Because to be honest, I think that's why we keep watching it over, well, at least why I keep watching it over and over again, because it's the cycle that I feel like, at least myself, I keep repeating. I go back to the ones I love my mom. I go back to, go back to God and I pray. And then he says, oh, each and every day when I wake up, he's just like Geppetto. He is holding my hand, looking at me with all the love in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he is trusting that when he sends me out into the world, outside of these four walls of my home, he is trusting. I'm excited to be out here, but he's trusting, are you going to come back throughout the end of the day? And he
Mm-hmm.
trusts us every single morning when we get up, we go out, and next thing you know, there's a fox waiting for you. Your Jiminy Cricket, your Holy Spirit is out there, but you got to listen to it. And the fox is going to do whatever it needs to do to knock it off course, to block your hearing, tuning certain things out, listening to the radio, whatever it's got on it, stuff
Mm-hmm.
on TV, people, people distracting you with the posts they got on, reality, just a whole bunch of stuff. The foxes are going to be out there. And then
And
you're going to try to do the right thing, and you're gonna get thrown off course just for doing the right thing. It don't mean
Mm-hmm.
you did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean it don't mean that you doing the right thing. Okay, cool. And then even when you go wherever you decide to go, it just we can repeat it over and over again. But I just know pray without ceasing. Let God know where you are at all times. Just talk to Him throughout the day, and He's going to welcome you with open arms each and every time. You brought up the be not conformed,
Mm-hmm.
be transformed. I'm bringing up like training up a child as the ways they can go, and when they get old, they won't depart from it. Because he knew his father was like that was it. I'm also bringing up present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. That was your reasonable service. So he wasn't presenting himself when he went to Pleasure Island. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because even though he wasn't being all bad like the other kids, he drank the root beer. Sometimes what you insert into your body or take or the company that you keep, it doesn't offer the sacrifice, not sacrifice, well, yeah, but it doesn't offer the particular walk that you're trying to display, whatever it is that you're trying to display, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So, and you can't be the best witness that you're trying to be. And I can attest to that because I have been this whole summer, really this whole year up until this point, I have been, reading, I've been studying and focusing on certain things. And I can tell you, and you already know, Cyclops, for opportunities that I've had. And I would say opportunities or challenges.
Yeah.
Um, and in both
Obstacle.
scenarios,
Yeah.
yes, whatever you want them to be called. But in both of those, it was just like I felt like I failed to present myself as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. Like I felt like I failed. And but even still, I know I can be restored, but it was just like I'm trying to make sure that my walk makes sense. And I talked to a few friends, and they were like, just adjust how you are presenting yourself, so that now you're not attracting, the fox may. Now let me tell you about this. This we didn't bring this up. Tell me why did the fox at the beginning? Because remember, I'm gonna see you guys. Why did the fox recognize Pinocchio, or why was his attention on Pinocchio?
Because well, you got to think about it. When he was going through the alley, he was like, "Oh, look, Straboni's back with the puppet show." Woo, 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 woo. Then the kids were running by, and then all of a sudden, boom, Pinocchio falls, gets back up, and says, "Oh, look, a wooden boy." Wait, a wooden boy. So yeah, it was something that stuck out with him. You know,
Yeah.
like it was like, okay, let's do it like this. God has a purpose for you, so He puts gifts in you that people might see. To where when those people see those gifts, they go act on it. So his gift might not have been his wood, but God made him in His image.
Come on now.
To where He's like, ooh, ooh, look, a wooden boy. Let me act on
Let me
this.
see. Let me see what I can do with that. Because I
Yes,
can connect these dots and I can make this work for me.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And it the thing about it is the fox represents a lot
Yeah.
because um you might think the fox is somebody you might not even know, but
Ooh.
the fox could be the person that's sitting right next to you.
Look to your neighbor. Look to your left and your right. Look at your
Mm-hmm.
phone. Who just text you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So you have to keep your eyes open for these foxes because at the end of the day, somebody's trying to capitalize off of something that you might have. And I want to go back to what you were saying, your journey may not be easy. I have a shirt that says, "This faith walk ain't no cakewalk."
Come on. It's
Because
not.
you gonna have go like you gonna try to do good so much. to where the more you do good, the more obstacles the more
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
obstacles are gonna come in your way. Now it's up to you to figure out how to get past it. So, like I said, this movie, it gets, like I said, it opens your mind.
We could talk about this again next week. And
Exactly. It'll be a whole different conversation because we probably watched it 3 or 4 more times before next week. It was like, oh, did you realize this and this? But it also goes back to church when I was going back in July. We had a whole series. Listen to this. We had a whole series based off of Toy Story.
What? That's cool.
Toy Story. Each movie, because we did 4 Sundays. Now, you mind you, there's 4 Toy Stories.
Yep.
So each Sunday was a Toy Story. To where I had to go back and watch Toy Story. I was like, yo, like, this is unique. And that's why I said earlier, I said, each Disney movie has a subliminal message behind it. And it's a spiritual message. You just got to look at it how they portray it.
Did you catch how his clocks, when they did the cuckoo, how they had Toy Story, they had Sleeping Beauty, they had all the classics in there. You saw that? I thought that was so cool.
Yes.
I love how they do that.
So, and just like the movie they did before this one, can't even think of it. Chip and Dale. That has some
I gotta watch that too. So
that has some messages too. But I'm gonna let you watch that, and I'm gonna see.
Come back.
Yeah, because like I said, it's a lot of movies out here that Disney's doing that's really.
I can't wait for The Little Mermaid in May next year.
Yes. Yes. Now, but you gotta wait some time because, like you said, it don't come out to May, so anticipation is already here. So, yeah, but like I said, I might actually watch Little Mermaid. I never watched Little Mermaid, the cartoon.
The cartoon? Oh, that was one of the first things I saw.
I think I was like, nah, I ain't watching no Little Mermaid. Nope, that's not me. I don't want to watch
it. Watch it.
Ah, okay. And it's weird because I didn't watch that, but I watched Snow White.
Well, that was even before that too. Because that's I think when he was alive, when Walt Disney was alive.
Yeah. I was like, I watched Snow White, but I didn't watch Little Mermaid. I don't know why.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For chatting with me. And just letting me get that off my chest. And I hope that whoever's listening, they may feel the same things or they may not. It's our take. Saying we right, we wrong. This is our take, and we actually agree a lot with each other. And it just feels good to know that I'm not alone in my thought process when I'm watching stuff. I can get to somebody and say, "Wow, you too," or "I never saw it this way." So it's just a perspective. That's all it is. It's our DJ Cyclops and Tiffany Jaye's, perspective on the spiritual journey of Pinnocchio. That's pretty much. You can add the piggyback, comment, make a response. Is there something that you're going through that that resonates with this? Why do you love it? Tell us about it.
Yes, because like we said, it's our opinions, not nobody else's. Our opinions. Yeah. All right.
We signing off.
Peace, y'all.
That was another edition of 10 Minutes with Tiffany Jaye. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I know I did. Now you can get more episodes on my website at www.misstiffanyjaye.com. But don't stop there. Hop on over to the music tab and check out your favorite Tiffany Jaye record, starting with my latest singles, Work For It and Callin' Me, which is on all digital platforms. Also with a bomb video showcase on YouTube featuring the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. Yourself All right, y'all. This is for the few people that I rock with, and if you want to connect with any of them for their expertise in their craft, hit me up so that I can link you. First, I want to shout out my indie label 646 Entertainment Group. It's a one-stop shop for the ultimate music experience, artist development, engineering, road management, business awareness on how to properly release your songs, get royalties, and more. Next, I want to shout out No Gossip, Just Talk with Tanisha and Mitra, who inspired me to step outside of my comfort zone and start this podcast. I pop up every now and then with a topic, and we have a blast with Girl Talk 101. Special attention needs to be drawn to my boy, Sarian, for answering my prayers and becoming a part of my journey musically and beyond. More to come as life unfolds. I'll save some for later. Now, my jewel, no pun intended, is my accountability partner who has like the exact same mind as me. When we link, things happen in the atmosphere. I am so glad we crossed paths. Angel, my love, you are an inspiration. Dance fitness is a lifestyle, and you do it with such ease. If anyone wants to be fit, curvy, wavy, let me know. We can get our dance craze on with Angel. She's also one of the guests of No Gossip, Just Talk, so make sure you check her out there. Last but not least for now, the Purple Charlotte Steppers Club, which embodies an entire dance community of some of the best people I've met on the planet. You'll see me live there Thursday at 6:30 on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram with the Purple Thursday Experience. Now, if you listening to this need ad space and want to join the platform, DM me and we'll discuss membership so that we can get your business out there. Reserve your spot is next with Purple Charlotte Steppers Club. You all take care.
What's up, Dance World? This your boy Herschel KG. This beautiful lady is.
I'm Tiffany Jaye.
If you missed out last week, you do not want to miss out this week because last week was lit.
Amazing. So, if you want to be in the building, make sure you go to
purplecharlotte.com.
Reserve your spot.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you can't make it, it's all right because you can go to Purple Charlotte Steppers Club on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And do what?
Join us live.
6:30 on Thursdays. We'll see you there, okay? We your hosts, Tiffany Jaye.
Herschel KG.
Uh.
Deuces.
We'll see you there.